Sixers Heat. Heat came out firing all cylinders, had a nice lead in the first quarter, then they gave it all up basically in the second quarter. They just don't have enough bodies to deal with what Philly's doing. Dwayne Wade looks like after this series, he's done. But it's only one game. Bellinelli and Saric went off. Philly has shooters now. They're dangerous. They're dangerous because here's the thing. When you got raw guys that can't shoot the basketball but can handle and get to the rack like Ben Simmons, and then you have a guy in the post that can create create matchups where he has to get doubled, and you have shooters, that's dangerous. Philly's very dangerous. The Heat, I felt like they came out like gangbusters, like really focused, and then they got real loosey-goosey with the basketball and just making mistakes. And it's crazy because you have Eric Spoelstra, a veteran coach, and Dwayne Wade, a veteran player, but he came off the bench, and just it's a veteran team mixed with a lot of youth. But I feel like Eric Spoelstra trusted the youth way too much. Dwayne Wade has to get more minutes than what he played. They should start him. They should start him just to see if that gives a different look and try to put him in the post more. Another thing that really bothered me was Wayne Ellington. He can't guard anybody. He can't guard anybody. I feel like if he's there to shoot threes but he can't guard anybody, don't put him back in the game until he's able to defend. He has to learn how to defend guys at a high clip. Like, I saw a bunch of blow-bys by Bellinelli. Bellinelli giving him the business. Saric giving him the business. I mean, Ilyasova, he couldn't defend that barrage of threes. I think they gave up 16 threes or something, 18 threes. Absolutely ridiculous. That's just putrid. Wizards and Toronto Raptors. Man, Wizards blew a chance to keep that Toronto Raptors streak going. John Wall had great numbers. He cost that team the game. His inability to make the correct plays at the right times cost the team the game. He would not pass the ball on 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s. He just kept taking it to the rack, kept getting fouled, turning the ball over. We know he got fouled, but he has to understand you're not home. They're not gonna make those calls. He would get fouled, no call, and it's a turnover. Just because he had too much pride to make a pass to a wide open guy. If you watch that game, game one, whole bunch of plays where it had 2-on-1, 3-on-1 fast breaks, and you're not passing the ball. What are you doing? That's always been the problem with Wall for me. You have to pass the basketball, bro. That's why when you weren't there, they had a higher morale. Everybody eats because everybody was eating. Everybody was getting the ball when they needed it. It wasn't like somebody dribbling out the shot clock to 16, 17 seconds and then finally passing the ball to somebody. Because here's the thing. In a way, working out with LeBron James kind of worked against him. Because if you look at LeBron's kind of the same way sometimes. Sometimes, I'm not going to say all the time. Sometimes he'll dribble the ball a great deal until somebody finally gets open to the where he will get the absolute assist. And that's a problem because sometimes if you give up the ball early, you'll get it back in a more favorable situation, which means moving off the ball. John Wall didn't want to move off the ball, sort of like sometimes LeBron doesn't want to. And then working together during the offseason, I don't know if that contributed to it. I don't know if that's something that he learned, but you could tell Wall will hold the ball, but wouldn't allow for a flow of the game to come to him where he give up the ball, set a screen for somebody else, get the ball back. It's a lot more movement when the ball is moving as opposed to when somebody's dribbling the air out of it. And that's kind of intuitive. Like what I'm saying seems kind of intuitive when you're like, well, he had 17 or 12 assists, whatever the assists he had. But that's the problem with stats. Guys get big numbers, stuff like that. And people just look at the numbers like, oh, he had a good game. But when you watch the game, you see what really happened. So stats really don't tell you the entire story in that game because Wall really, and I don't even mean to point him out or pick on him. He cost his team that game. He really cost him that game. That was a bad loss because if it wasn't for a few missed passes, for somebody dribbling the ball, you probably go to overtime. You probably win. You win the game. You win the game. And that's kind of the thing I don't like. I don't like a game where you could have won the game, but it just came down to something stupid. Like when you think about like the Minnesota Timberwolves, the way they lost the game basically because they couldn't make an entry pass. You look at the Washington Wizards, they lose a game because somebody doesn't want to pass the ball more frequently. And I mean pass the ball to a point where it doesn't matter if he gets the assist or not. It just leads to more ball movement. And that hurts me. And you saw him on the podium. He had a smug smirk on his face, like everything's all good. And I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, you basically lost the game because you wouldn't pass. So we'll see what happens with that. If Wall continues to play like this, that's not going to be a 7-game series. That's going to be a 5-game series because Wall needs to understand you must give up the ball earlier.